Hello and welcome to the StartupBREW Fargo podcast. StartupBREW is a weekly event hosted by Emerging Prairie in downtown Fargo, where we believe that entrepreneurship is energized over brews. Each week, we bring entrepreneurs, founders, and innovators together because we believe they succeed when they have access to each other and the community that supports them. This week, we welcomed Mukai, Selekwa, and Nate Thoreson, co-founders of Webblen, and Jimmy Slagle and Lucas Sjule, co-founders of TrendZ. We're going to kick today off with Jimmy, and Jimmy co-founded TrendZ, where they specialize in building your TikTok presence. Through content creation and influencer marketing on the platform, TrendZ's job is to literally study TikTok and learn ways to make your business grow. Let's listen in as we hear more from Jimmy.
Thank you, Emma. I appreciate the kind intro. So like Emma said, my name is Jimmy Slagle. I am the co-founder of TrendZ, which is a TikTok marketing agency. And I'm guessing up to this point, most people had heard of TikTok for the first time in two different ways. One, it was about to get banned in the fall, and the other is their kids came home and were doing these crazy dances and are probably still doing these dances to the day. So interesting way that we're going to combine that into a business model, but hear me out because it's pretty fun. So a question we get a lot is why TikTok? Why focus specifically on TikTok? And really the answer is brands have no idea what to do on TikTok. They struggle to think of a strategy. They struggle to think about content to create. And what happens is they usually throw it out to their 30-plus-year-old marketing person to make the videos, which oftentimes can lead to cringy or ineffective content. If you have kids around, I'm sure you've heard the word cringy a couple times. Yeah, and so what we're able to do is we're able to take this more Gen Z approach. We're able to take the data we've been able to collect by making over 180 videos, spending tons of time. One of our employees over Christmas break, when we were launching, his average screen time was 12 hours a day, which most of that was on TikTok and just doing research for us. So, just being able to understand the platform, be able to understand what is driving the trends and what is driving the content that's being put out is critical, because trends can come and go within a matter of days, and if you're late to that really puts a bad image on your brand. And the other thing is TikTok honestly has the power to change an entire company in a matter of months. I love the story. There's a company called Nerdy Nuts, which is based out of Rapid City, South Dakota. They are a flavored peanut butter company. They started out at the local farmers market in 2017. They were a hit. They do about $1,000 in sales every weekend. In 2019, it was founded by a husband and wife. The wife had a baby, and so she decided to work on this full time afterwards. They went digital, and they were doing about $60,000 a year, or in 2019 they did $60,000 a year. 2020 is when things really get interesting. For the first 5 months, they were doing well, averaging about $8,000 in revenue. And June of 2020, they decided to drop 3 new flavors. And they worked with 18 influencers on Instagram. It did well. They did $27,000 in revenue that month. But they found working with the Instagram influencers was really difficult. They thought, they were kind of big league, had agents, demanded retainers, all these different things. And so the founders decided to go to TikTok in July. They worked with 2 influencers, both with about 500,000 followers. And these influencers were honestly shocked that a brand reached out to them and wanted them to promote their product. Anyways, the videos went viral. They ended up doing $167,000 of sales in July alone, and that led to a perfect storm of scarcity and just this viral effect, and that led to August, them doing $500,000 of sales. So honestly, the reason why we have TikTok is because the power is unlimited, and it's a platform where anyone can go viral for anything, and it really is this way to grow your business. As a startup, you have to be lean, you have to be scrappy, and you can't spend thousands and thousands on ads to try to get that reach. So that's why we started TrendZ. What we do at TrendZ is we offer 3 different services. The first is video creation, so we make TikTok videos. The second one is influencer marketing, so we help you find perfect influencers with your budget, with your niche, anything like that. And then the last thing we do is we're just rolling out paid TikTok ads. Unfortunately, TikTok is becoming more of a pay-to-play program, but that's the natural progression of most social media platforms. So some fun facts about us. Our average age of our team, out of the 7 of us, is 21 years old. So it's an experience when half of our employees are students still. But that really does give us a unique value proposition. We've worked with mainly emerging D2C brands. That's where we really find our specialty. So think Shark Tank-esque products. And I do, our favorite company right now is a brand called Big Blanket, which is a 10-foot by 10-foot blanket, sponsored by like a 7'4" NBA player. It's pretty wild. Sumo wrestlers, like it's cool stuff. And in 2 months of working together with them, we've been able to generate 1.2 million views organically just through TikTok alone. So pretty fun stuff. I do have to give a huge shout out to the team. Honestly, like I wouldn't be here without them. They're a massive part of what we do and the success we've had. And the last thing is, I know that there's going to be a question of what happens when TikTok disappears. And the cool thing about our company is our mission isn't about TikTok. Our mission is to help everyone in our entire ecosystem achieve their biggest dreams and goals. And right now, the way that we can provide that value is through TikTok. And so we're very flexible. We're adaptable. We're 21 years old. So I mean, what you're going to do in your life probably changes every month at that stage. And so we really are excited, though, to continue growing and seeing some results on TikTok. So I'll kick it back over to Emma.
Next up, we heard from Mukai, co-founder of Webblen. Webblen is a community building platform that allows small business owners to directly reach their target audience while rewarding its users for engaging with their community. Webblen is powered by blockchain and driven by communities. Let's listen in as Mukai shares the story behind Webblen.
How are we doing today? So, as you know, my name is Mukai Selekwa, co-founder and CEO of Webblen. If you don't already know, Webblen is a mobile app. It's a platform that allows people like you and me to get involved and be rewarded for our involvement in our communities. What's interesting is when it comes to the rise of social media, the internet, and more recently, the pandemic, community participation has been on a significant decline. What sucks about this is that larger tech companies actually profit from the situation. Us being stuck to our devices, us being looking at our devices, staying at home especially, actually puts a lot of money into their pockets, and they relish in the fact. What we do is actually turn the narrative on its head. With our platform, you're able to be rewarded and paid for being involved here right now with our leverage over blockchain technology. It's kind of interesting when we actually think about the future, right? And with people more interested in actually participating in the community, and I trust, especially within the past few months, that more than half of us here have heard cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. It's not going away. Adoption's only increasing. And the possibilities with the technology itself is not just getting rich off of Dogecoin in a matter of seconds, but it's the economic and social opportunity that can be provided to each of us as opposed to just larger entities and corporations. Now, you may be wondering, what exactly does Webblen look like? Well, A, you can download it on the Google or iOS App Store if you so choose and check into this event. And B, there are 3 ways to approach Webblen. Let's say you are attending an event like so. By checking in, you're actually rewarded our currency, Webblen. Whether you check into an event, you watch a stream, or you post something on Webblen, or you comment on Webblen, you're able to be rewarded for your involvement in what's going on around you. I mentioned streams, right? What does it mean to be a streamer through Webblen? Well, the cool thing is, it's one thing to stream through Webblen, and our platform allows you to stream video, and it directly goes to the people in your community, kind of like local TV. Another super cool thing about it is, if you stream through us, it shows up on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at the same time if you so choose. There's a third approach with Webblen, and that is if you're a local business, especially if you host events. We do offer ticketing on our platform. Sure, you can use other platforms like Eventbrite, TicketLeap, etc., and be willing to pay the fees, wait for your money. Ticket through us, it's free. We pass the fees on to the users or whoever's attending the event, and you can get your money with same-day deposits or free weekly deposits, which is pretty neat if you ask me. When it comes to the future, we're pretty excited for what's to come. We've had some wins as of lately, especially there's a top 10 smart contract blockchain, Algorand, token blockchain that's even listed on Coinbase. We sent a grant proposal their way. They looked at the idea. They saw what we were doing. They like what we're doing. They accepted the proposal, and we're actually even partnering up with them. We're aiming to really change what it means to be involved in the community and creating a social economy. And we're really excited for what's to come. And if you're interested in participating, whether you just attend events or you want to actually have influence over the culture of what's going on around you, we're the platform to do that. Feel free to reach out. Again, it's been quite the journey with Webblen so far, and I have to, like Jimmy thanking his team, I feel like I have to do the same. And I guess we can just go for questions at this point, right?
Look at this. Heck yes. Round of applause. After the presentation, Jimmy and Mukai's co-founders joined them on stage as we opened up to a live Q&A session with the audience. And today we were joined by our host, Emma McIntyre, who is also the lead coordinator of StartupBREW Fargo. Let's listen in.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we're going to do this dating game show style, which is introduce your co-founder. So Mukai, if you would introduce Nate, and then Jimmy, you introduce Lucas. We'll work through it, I promise.
This is Nate Thoreson, co-founder and my best friend, and chief marketing officer of Webblen. And
oh, he's got one. He's got one.
Works.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got one.
Yeah,
But
so like Mukai said, I have been working with Mukai and the rest of the team on Webblen since we were in high school when the product was completely different. So like you said, I do all of the digital marketing and reaching out to people and all of that type of stuff. Hopefully as we start hiring people, it will start dwindling down a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I'm the co-founder of Webblen. Great to be here.
Heck yeah. Jimmy, if you want to introduce Lucas.
Yeah, so this is Lucas. He is my co-founder. He's the grandpa of the group. He's actually turning 25 next week, so we give him a lot of grief for that. But he's the one in charge of thinking about all the videos, the storyboards. He's the creative director, so I got to give him a lot of credit for the pretty sweet videos that we've been able to make.
I knew he was going to make an old joke for sure. So.
Heck yeah, sweet. Well, I want to kick it off on a high note. For those of you who have never been with us before, if you have a question, please tweet it into @StartupBREW on Twitter, and we'll ask these guys live time. And then another cheers to Jordan for. Yeah, come on, Jordan. Thanks so much. You're the best. So to kick us off, I'd love to focus on things that are going well. So what is something that you guys are most proud of in the last year? And if you just want to delegate a person to answer from your team.
Sure, I can take that one. So Mukai won't say this, but he is probably one of the best developers I've ever seen. And in the last 6 months, we live together, and I barely have seen him. He's completely stripped down the app in the last 6 months, built it back from scratch to basically be enterprise level. So what we're really proud of is actually happening right now, where we're considering this to be our hard launch day. So the app is available, and we're going to get started with going hard with marketing. So if you guys start seeing a bunch of ads, TikTok videos about us, that's pretty cool. And then the other thing that we're really proud of, I think, is, like he mentioned, the Algorand grant proposal. This is a pretty pie-in-the-sky idea, and having a top 10 blockchain say, we want to partner with you guys, it's a huge, huge vote of confidence into what we're doing. So.
Yeah, I would probably just say the wisdom and determination and just knowledge of our team has impressed me more than anything. Again, 21-year-olds typically have a bad rep of doing things on weekends that probably aren't the greatest when you're in a startup environment. But our team honestly is just really committed to the vision and mission that we're trying to do, and the wisdom that they've been able to just have and experience they have as 18, 19, 20-year-olds blows me away every single day. And I'm 22 years old, so it's not like I'm much older, but even looking back where I was 18, 19 and seeing where these guys are, it's truly incredible.
Heck yeah. Any questions from our audience to kick us off? How do you spell Webblen?
Webblen.
Nice start. Nice start. I know you're all roasting up there on those chairs.
Usually I'm wearing like a sweater with our name on it, but due to circumstance,
Couldn't make it work today?
couldn't do it.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll kick us off with an online question while you guys are all thinking. First, our question comes from Randy Schatz. It's for the Trenzy team, which is, what plans does Trenzy have to remain relevant as they age? Which I know you kind of touched on, but maybe going a little deeper.
Yeah, again, it's that idea of just being flexible. We don't know what platforms are going to be out there 3, 4, 5 years from now, but the idea of us just being able to switch and not getting so tied down to one platform and one service is really going to be how we're going to remain relevant. When you just have that mission of like wanting to help people and give more in value than you receive in compensation, I think that will take you much farther than any service that you can offer.
Brian. Yeah, he asked what businesses fit on the TikTok platform.
Yeah, I mean, I always take the approach of, you look at The Office, which is probably in paper, one of the boringest shows that should ever happen, and they took it to a whole nother level, and it's still relevant today, every single day. So, I mean, businesses that fit TikTok and are probably going to do well naturally are those Shark Tank-esque products, like Amazon products you never knew you needed, or best gifts for the impossible gifter, or life hack sort of things. But I'm a firm believer that if you really tried to get creative, that you can find a way, because it has been done before on the platform.
We did have another question come in through Twitter, which for both of you, this applies. So far in your startup journeys, what has been your biggest accomplishment?
I would say it's two things. Our team, and developing our team and the skills that our team has. Like, sure, I may be a pretty badass developer, but over here is a pretty badass graphic designer and marketer, and on another person on our team, he's actually I swear he's a genius. Like, when it comes to our token and actually developing that, and his improvement on socioeconomics per se, it's rather incredible. And then comes with the fact that our product has developed to the point that it has. And we've been seeing a pretty strong organic reach. Like, we haven't even fully dived into marketing, and yet, especially in the crypto space, Webblen is starting to become you could say, it's starting to get that traction.
Yeah.
For us, I like to say our team too. I think the growth and us just learning and continue to keep challenging ourselves and trying different things, especially in the creative world. There's constantly something new happening with trends and cinematic videos and all the stuff that's going on. We make a lot of videos, so just not letting that go and continue to keep challenging ourselves and just growing with that. But also, we got a killer CEO too, so.
So knowing each of you personally, my favorite thing about your businesses is your co-founder relationship. I think it's really unique, and I think it's cool that when I asked you guys to speak, it was kind of an automatic yes that you were going to all sit up here. Can you talk about maybe the top 2 things you've decided make a co-founder relationship successful? Or maybe we'll start with the top first. We'll go down the line.
Yeah, we can do one more. Yeah, okay. I would say synergy in relation to weaknesses and strengths, that we're able to complement each other pretty well.
Yeah.
I think another big thing with having a co-founder, if you are starting a startup, getting a co-founder that you're good friends with helps a lot. Even talking about decisions with who should get equity, who should get paid out from this specific thing. Having a good relationship with your co-founder means that you're able to look at the future long term, and you care about your relationship more than you necessarily care about the business. So having a really, really strong friend is something that I think is super important. And if I were to ever start another business one day, the only person I could really think of doing it is with Mukai or my fiance. But yeah, being just really, really strong friends, I think, is really important.
Oh. Jimmy.
Yeah, I would say for Lucas and I, one thing that's really cool is we're both committed to putting faith first before the business. And when we're both kind of tied on that same mindset of like, it's not all about the money, it's not all about, what success we're going to have, but just like, trying to stay connected and, just rooted in our faith and our morals, I think has really allowed us to have a cool relationship.
Yeah, Lucas?
I like to say we're both two competitive people. So if Jimmy stays up and works till 2 a.m., guess what I'm going to do the next day? I'll stay up till 4 and work it out. But it's healthy. We have fun. And again, faith is the most important thing to us to kind of guide us through this business.
Heck yeah. Well, we've got another question in through Twitter from Tate, which is, how are you scaling your businesses and how do you best map out your capacity plan for continued growth?
This one, we've actually recently hired on, you could say he's a pseudo chief operating officer, and he's helped with company organization and putting us into the mindset of scaling. He has some experience when it comes to Grubhub as well as Postmates and seeing how they've scaled. And since we're a very community-focused type of application, that we have to take the similar approach as apps that such as Uber, Lyft, that are very, very focused on location and demographic. And on top of looking at where we should actually focus our efforts and where the opportunities are, you also have to look at the different responsibilities of the business and what needs to be done, who's accountable for what, so nothing falls through the cracks, as well as the relationships that your business has with other people, brands, and entities in general.
Yeah, I'd say the same lines of him. The operations, standard operating procedures, I've learned more about that over the past 6 months than I ever thought I would. And just being able to have systems in place that allow us to be as efficient as possible. I mean, when we're making, anywhere from 40 to 80 to whatever amount of videos in a month, like there isn't really room to have 5-10 minutes that's just wasted. And so the other thing I would say is one value add that I would add to any business here is Upwork and Fiverr is probably your most underused marketing tool possible. There's a lot of talented freelancers out there overseas that you're able to send a lot of your work to, especially that more mundane, to stay lean and to stay just ahead of the game in terms of, when they're working overnight, it's really nice because they must have liked that one. When you're working when they're working overnight and you're in the morning, you can send them to work, and then by the next day, the work is done. It makes for an efficient process.
We'll take one last question, just to be mindful of everybody's tolerance of heat. I've never seen you here before. Come on, come share.
What's your favorite part about your guys' organization and what do you think is the most helpful part of it?
I would say for us is we do consider ourselves to be a technology that is built with humanity first in mind. Like we've mentioned, social media is quite literally killing a lot of us, and we want to build something that is hyper-localized to make people be involved in their community, but more than just posting an event on Eventbrite or wherever, more than that is to say, how can we actually incentivize people to get out and do things? And that's why we literally pay people to go to events, to watch local streams, and to engage in community conversation. So for me, I think the biggest thing, and this is something that we have to be very careful with, is making sure that the humanity goes before everything else and making sure that we have a platform that cares about the well-being of the people that use it.
It's like the classic, maybe you guys have heard where like Google used to have the mission statement, don't be evil, and then they, on the hush-hush, got rid of it during the pandemic and said like, hey, let's just not worry about this, and so it just kind of goes to show just our focus on actually providing that value to individuals like you and me, as well, that can actually help grow and improve on the health socially and economically for ourselves as well as our communities.
Yeah, one thing to add on to that point too, it's funny, like I like to delete my social media apps as much as possible because I know how much of a time sucker it is, and it's just interesting because like I fully support the mission that they're trying to do. I see the harmful effects of social media, and one thing that we provide is just we know that we don't want to do any hurtful or harmful or morally incorrect content, and so we do want to be a company that also promotes the good of social media. We work with F5 and Adam Martin, and just being able to tell their stories of addiction and recovery is so powerful, and that's the content that we just are inspired to make and continue to make to really try to make a difference.
And I'll just add on to that. My thing is always to have fun and work hard at the same time, and just the growth out of that with our team, it's been amazing. That's one thing I'm really proud of, the bond we've built. We have friendship relationship, but we also have work relationship. And we've figured out how to balance that. So that's one thing I'm really proud of.
Well, you have 85 of your best friends sitting right here. They decided to dedicate their morning to being sweaty in Island Park for you. Can you, in a sentence, what is one thing that each of us can do to energize the work that you guys are doing right now?
Join in on the mission we're embarking on, because if you want to have a hand in changing the culture and of what Fargo is, and see a trickle-down effect and see what happens, reach out and we'll see how we can work together.
Okay, Trenzy?
Yeah, my biggest thing, and this is always my thing, is don't just hire an intern to do all like the low-end work. The insights that these young people have and college students have on how to adapt into the future is more powerful than you think. And the brands that are going to be relevant 5-10 years from now are the ones that really invest in the youth right now. And so when you hire someone young, don't just look at them as this entry-level position. Get their insights on how you're running your business and from like a pop culture standpoint and everything, because I promise you it will be worth it if you're able to resonate with Gen Z.
Last one, did you guys plan the outfit coordination? Was this like a thing that you have? Do you have a group chat going on? Or?
I should have not wearing a white shirt.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here with us this morning. Big round of applause.
That's all we have for this week's StartupBREW Fargo. Thanks for listening in. StartupBREW Fargo is energized by Emerging Prairie, an organization dedicated to connecting and celebrating the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We'd also like to thank the following sponsors for their support: Pro Resources, Brady Mertz, the FMCVB, Office Sign Company, Fargo Parks, and Midco. See you next time.